Welcome YouTube customer. This YouTube video will demo how to use connection pooling with U2 Unit objects for Java or JDBC clients. For U2 support connection pooling, we have several different kinds of clients, include UOJ, JDBC, .NET, and Python. But this video only focus on the Java environment. The first one is UOJ. UOJ connection pooling is very straightforward. It's very simple. You got a driver, UOJ driver, then you just set up a couple settings inside your UOJ application. Then you can work with the UOJ connection pooling. But for the JDBC, a little bit different. Because the U2 JDBC require JDBC 2.0 auction package. So you need to some auction package library. So in this video, in the description field, you can download all necessary the library, also the sample code. Another very important thing, U2 connection pooling require the server license. You can check the universe server license using UV region -Z option to see how many connection pooling license you have. Or on unit data, you need to run this user or com prop to verify you have connection pooling license first. The first simple one have using the UOJ. UOJ inside the UOJ application, very simple. You just have one property called UO pooling. Flag, turn it on, it's true. And they have other several options like a minimum pool size and maximum pool size. So you can, they also have some connection timeout, some other additional property setting. You can look at all information in the UOJ menu. Also, it's very important concept. When we create a pool, when you first time using the open section objects, all based on the server name, a login password, account, and service name. When you want to use the same pool, all the environment variable must be the same. Otherwise, you will create different pool. Inside this YouTube video include a simple program called UOJ CPS1. There's a program you can run in. You can look at the source code and to know how to use connection pooling in the UOJ application. JDBC is a little bit different. First, you will require JDBC 2.0 auction package. Inside the auction package, they have two very important concepts called data source and connection pooling data source. On the JDBC, on the U2 JDBC driver with similar function called uni JDBC data source, uni JDBC connect connection pooling data source. It's the correspondence. Inside the JDBC 2.0 auction package library, there's 4 important jar file. You can download and put anywhere you want. But I like to suggest put the class path on the Windows or Unix. Inside the package, inside the sample code, they basically first you need to using called register a data source, and you will create the objects. Basically, you will create called .bindings hidden file in your system. You can specify for my testing. I can put in the Windows and the put ctemp. On the Unix, you will put the /temp, and actually you can put anywhere you want. You just need to specify where is your the path to specify the path to put the data source object in any folder as you need. And after you create the bindings data source object, Then you can run the program. The program is just very simple. Tell where you to look up, where's the folder to find your data source object. Then you can get a connection. All the SQL syntax all the same. When you get the connection object, then you can run the JDBC SQL statement. Another one I use it called U2 JDBC Xcode CPDS program. Basically, just combine two programs, so it's easy for testing. But if you want to learn, you might be two separate programs, make it easy to use and learning. First, you can use the register CPDS program. Then another program just try to get the connection from data source object. So next, I will show you the demo first, then I will explain to you. So first, I can on the Windows environment. So first, on the Windows environment, I suggest put the everything in the class path environment. So for you can check your setting, make sure your setting it's there's a class path. So I have so many class path setting. You can set on the system variable or use a variable called class path, include all 6 files. Very important. After you create it, set the environment variable. So next you need to you can run the first. I show you Java. I already compiled. Otherwise, you need to compile the program called UOJ CPS1. So that's the program. You can connect Unidata Universe, and by default here on Windows, I just connect to localhost and connect to hs.sales, username and password. And you can set the pool size. For my default is 1 or 2. You can turn it on and off. So it's turning on. So let's just for connection pooling for the connection pooling on the UOJ side. So after you make a connection, so you can run UVLib command. So for this, you will see if you are using the UVLib tool, you will show you the CP license 1 because this one for connection pooling. So after I run it and end the program, so you can look at the again the connection pooling license is gone. So let's just very simple for UOJ connection pooling. And next, I will show you is you need to using called register CPDS command. So I will show you to create the data source object. So the next one called register CPDS. So very simple, basically the same thing. I run the working directory here. Then I will put the reg database in the chem folder, cchem folder. So the first, I need to specify all the connection to the your server. So this one I connect to the local machine. So that's the connect machine. So it's just a simple to create it, very simple. So after you create it, you will create here. I just put the cchem folder, will create the binding. And if you look at the information here, it just look like this. You create the binding data source object. So after this, then you can run the function. You can try to use the data source object. So let's just create it. So next, I will run the program. This one, just using the data source object called U2 JDBC XCPDX. You just get a connection and send the SQL statement. So this one is pretty simple and just get a state record, file record back using connection pooling. So For this, I also can show you the result. If you check a license, you will see using connection pooling license. For this, because I set up the initialize as 2 connection, so you will, when you using 1, but actually starting to using 2 connection pooling. So same thing, another program is basically just the same. So I will show you if without X, basically it's the same. First, you can register or do the same thing. If you put the connection, I use the same thing, universe, and you want to register to create data source object, or yes, if you are the first time you run yes, and basically localhost administrator. So you will do the same thing, like register and run the JDBC SQL statement to get the data back. Let's just for on the Windows environment. So next I will show you is on Unix environment. Unix environment is almost the same, but I just put the put here on Unix is the Unix environment. So I put everything in that ctemp CP test folder, include all the sample code, class, and all auction JDBC 2.0 auction package library, everything in the one folder. So I also set up the all class path. So if you look at the class path, so all the class path is set the current directory. So after set environment, so that I can run the Java programs. So same thing, I can run the Java. First one, I will show you UOJ CPS1. It's the same thing. This time on Unix, I show you on the unit data. You will do the same thing. Localhost, demo, and I using root. And same one minima pool size 1 and maximum 2. So I want to turn it on. So it just try to turn it on for a connection pooling. You will see the license it's the 1, and that's just for UOJ connection pooling, connect to unit data site. And same thing I can run on the on the JDBC. It will be similar. Same thing, and this time I just show you very quick for this one called Java. Then I will next call this one, and this one basically first will ask you want to connect to unit data or universe. So I connect to unit data. Then I want to create the data source object. Yes, one auction and localhost and user and password. So first you will register the unit data. Then we'll run the SQL statement to get the data from unit data demo state file and get the data back. So inside here also have a lot of information in the README file. I also include the README file. So you can see the README file and will tell you first one you need to license and set up the class path. And you can run how you run the program. You can look at the source code, very easy to understand how you work with the UOJ or JDBC client. So inside there, there's just a pre-couple step to create the data source object. Then next will get the connection. Then you can run the SQL statement. So hopefully you can learn YouTube UOJ connection pooling and JDBC connection pooling very easy, and you can download the source code and sample and the driver from the YouTube description field. They have download link. So it can be very easy to learning and use it. Thanks for your watching.